Cool. So we are in our book read for our metaphysical Bible study. This is Emmett Fox. If you have not heard of Emmett Fox, he's definitely somebody to consider when it comes to just your learning and becoming awake and looking at Jesus Christ differently and looking at him differently, looking at his teachings and what Jesus taught as a conscious individual. And so when Emmett Fox breaks it down, it's just another level of yumminess. I don't know how else to say it. You're like yummy, Titus, like because this stuff, in my opinion, is so satisfying. It's so satisfying. You hear me? Very much so. So I thank you guys for being here. If you are new here, please let me know where you're tuning in from. And I appreciate in advance for the like and for the shares. So we're gonna get into it, okay? Let's start with page 21. Let's start with page 21. We are reading from the mental equivalent, Emmett Fox, okay? Here we go. Building a new mental equivalent, and we're probably backpedaling just a little bit. But howsoever, we are here. Let's get it, okay? Hey, the real holistic working mom. Building a new mental equivalent. It is your burden duty to demonstrate, and in order to do so successfully, you need to know why you should do so. What's up, Jai? Coming in the room. Why should you demonstrate at all? Some people say, since God is all and everything is perfect, why should I seek to demonstrate his law? Because you have to prove the harmony of being in your own life. That is why. If there were no need to demonstrate, one might just as well go to bed and stay there, or more simply still, stroll around to the nearest undertaker. Thank you for the share, John. Appreciate you. Of course, we are here on earth to express God. And true expression is what we call demonstration, because it demonstrates the law of being. It is your duty to be healthy, prosperous, and free. I'm going to say that again. All right. I know we read this yesterday, but just a good reminder will do you. Okay. Okay. Look, just a spoonful of reminder will make the medicine go down. The medicine go down. The medicine go down. All right. Come on. Here we go. It is your duty to be healthy, prosperous, and free. It is your duty to express God to the utmost of your power, and you have no right to relinquish your efforts until you have accomplished this. Until you have excellent health and are visibly regenerating, until you have found your true place and right activity, until you are free from conscious fear, anxiety, and criticism, you are not demonstrating, and you must find out why and correct the error, whatever it is. So I was sharing this yesterday, that I had kind of backed up on doing some readings this week because I had an encounter with the individual or with some people, and it made me a little nervous. Not because I don't like doing it, but it put me in fear mode. And uh, Emmett reminded me yesterday, like, this is part of the work. This is part of showing up and knowing your why. Knowing your why and sticking to your why, regardless of what anybody else has to say. Because when you're called to something, everybody's not going to understand. So my work this week has been really getting out of my own way and not allow other people's opinion of what is transpiring in my own life to block me from the people that I know that I'm helping, right? Because when you are in your lane, when you are pursuing your own purpose, the people that are really assigned to you will show up. You hear me? People will show up. Those that are assigned to your name, those that are assigned to your purpose, they will show up. All right, let's continue, fam. Jesus has told us that we always demonstrate our consciousness, and unity is teaching the same truth today. You always demonstrate what you habitually have in your mind. Listen, that part. And that's the thing, Jai. Like imposter syndrome, fear doesn't go away. I think it just becomes different looks of it. And when you are working with imposter syndrome and working through fear, how can you fully demonstrate your godness? You fully demonstrate your godness by continuing to show up, regardless of whoever has anything to say about whatever it is that you're doing. Because it might not be for them to understand. They might learn eventually, but their for lack of a better word, their ignorance should not be a trigger or uh, a blockage for you to continue. You always demonstrate what you habitually have in your mind. What sort of mind have you? I'm not going to tell you. And do not let anyone else tell you either, because they do not know. People who like you will think your mentality is better than it is. Those who do not like you will think it is worse. So do not ask anybody about your mentality, but examine your conditions and see what you are demonstrating. This method is scientific and infallible. Listen, if an automobile engineer is working out a new design for an engine, if he is going to do something different about the valves, for instance, he doesn't say, I wonder what Smith thinks about this. I like Smith. If Smith is against this, I won't try it. Nor does he say, I won't try this idea because it comes from France. I don't like those people. He is impersonal and perfectly unemotional about it. He says, I will test it out and decide by the results I obtain. Thank you for the like, Jai. Then he tries it out. And fam, thank you for those that are coming in the room. If y'all could tap and share this live to get this healing modality out to those that might need it. Then he tries it out, measuring the results carefully and decides accordingly. He does not laugh or cry or get excited or bang the table, but he tests out the idea scientifically and judges only by results. Thank you so much for the like, Klaus Michael. That is how you should handle your mentality. That is how you should practice the metaphysical teaching. You demonstrate the state of your mind at any given time. You experience in the outer what you really think in the inner. This is the meaning of the old saying, as within, so without. Note carefully that in the Bible, the word within always means thought, and the word without means manifestation or experience. That is why Jesus said that the kingdom of heaven, health, harmony, and freedom is within. Come on, somebody. And we've been taught that heaven is this space in the sky. And so we've been taught to live a life to go beyond the sky, but it has kept us in fear and trembling. I don't know. It kept me. Because it may not be y'all. It kept me in fear and trembling because I was living a life that I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to drink. I didn't want to get it in. I didn't want to do anything that would make God not love me or that I would have to repent. And that legit kept me from living life. Maybe there's somebody else in the room. But to understand that the kingdom of God is within you is a totally different type of freedom. Klaus Michaels. Listen, it's within. This is why you can have heaven on earth. Because if your mentality is in check, if your peace is in check within, everything else, everything else has to align. Listen, harmonious thought means harmonious experience. Fear thought or anger thought means suffering or frustration. Listen, let's run that back. Harmonious thought means harmonious experience. Fear thought or anger thought means suffering or frustration. Absolutely. The kingdom of God is within you and you are God's. Absolutely. My best friend brought me into that knowledge of that scripture like 3 years ago. Was the Psalms, right? Psalms. I got to think of the actual verse, but it is Psalms. That brings me to the most important thing I want to say. Namely, that if you want to change your life, if you want to be healthier, happier, younger, more prosperous, above all, if you want to get nearer to God, and I know that you do, you must change your thought and keep it changed. Ooh, I know we're running this back, but this is a good reminder. That is the secret of controlling your life, and there is no other way. Jesus himself could not have done it in any other way because this is a cosmic law. Change your thought and keep it changed. We have all been taught this very thing since the metaphysical movement began. I heard it stated in those very words many times nearly 40 years ago in London. But most of us are slow to realize the importance of it. If you want to change some condition in your life, you must change your thought about it and keep it changed. Come on, let's say it again. If you want to change some condition in your life, you must change your thought about it and keep it changed. Then the condition will change accordingly. All that anyone else can do for you is to help you change your thought. That is what a metaphysician can do for you, but you yourself must keep it changed. No one else can think for you. No man can save his brother's soul or pay his brother's debt. Ooh, and this goes, I want to say it like this, if I can say it like this. This goes for who you are in intimate relationship with. I was speaking to, and well, let me have my own realization. My understanding when I go into partnership next time is that my partner, as much as I would want them to agree with my vision, if I have a new vision, doesn't have to necessarily agree because the vision may not be for them. That vision is something that I have to put energy into. And I think that is the downfall of a lot of relationships is that we wait on our partner or have been taught to wait on the partner or person to accept what your vision is versus being so courageous to go after the vision that it doesn't matter what your partner thinks. And just maybe you going after your vision is going to free you up. And if your partner doesn't come with you, it could be an opportunity to release something that no longer serves you. But that's a different story because that also, I'm not trying to preach divorce, but I also have an awareness that being out of alignment and being with the wrong connection for your purpose could be detrimental to your purpose. All right, let me get out of that because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. Okay, we have been taught this very thing since. Okay, let's keep it going. To change your thoughts and keep it changed is the way to build a new mental equivalent. It is the secret of accomplishment. You already have a mental equivalent. You need your feelings. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. Listen, hilarious. Listen, and I this is my experience. When you are out of alignment, you know, you feel that, right? When you are moving in purpose, though, people will, how should I say it? Let me just say it like this. When you are moving in purpose, you have to be so careful about who you are attached with. Because people that don't understand purpose, they don't understand the assignment. When they don't understand the assignment on your life, then it breaches trust in a relationship. It causes discord in the relationship. This is why some creators, and I agree to this degree, people are starting to really teach the understanding of, before you even find your person, find your person, find your purpose. Now that'll teach. Before you even find your person, find your purpose. Because when you have found your purpose, I believe and I feel that you can really more discern who is aligned to who you are. If you're not living in purpose, then you're looking for somebody to maybe fill a void that they will never be able to fill. But when you are moving in purpose and you're living in purpose, it's a different type of movement, because now you are looking and opening yourself up for somebody that is aligned with your purpose. It's something to, have a call to be out in the world, but you find a person that wants you at home all the time. It won't work. Or somebody to where you are doing a business. Oh, it's all good. It's all good. You are in business and you've been called to this business, but you don't have somebody that can actually support your business. So the fight becomes, well, you're gone all the time, you're doing this, but it's not a how do we build this together? Grand Rising, Jilly Dilly. How do I support you in your business or your vision, just as you support me in mine? It's an ebb and flow. But when you have somebody that's pursuing purpose and somebody that's just existing, it breeds grounds for conflict and heartache. Okay? Whoever that was for, okay? And maybe that was a reminder. And this is not telling you to leave your spouse, your person. Let me just put that out there. And it is frustrating. This is saying reevaluate and maybe have a conversation with your quote unquote person to see if are we in alignment together. This is where I feel like I'm headed. Where are you headed, and how do we align these two things? But people, they don't have that conversation. And if you have that conversation, is there any jealousy involved with your quote unquote person, just because you are pursuing your vision and they may not even know what theirs is? It's a whole, okay. There might be a whole type of relationship type of class. Okay. All right, let's get back to this, okay? We are reading the mental equivalent, okay? To change your thoughts and keep it changed is the way to build a new mental equivalent. It is the secret of accomplishment. You already have a mental equivalent for everything that is in your life today, and you must destroy the patterns for the things you do not want, and then they will disappear. You must build a new pattern or mental equivalent for the things you want, and then they will come into your life. Of course, changing your thought for a short time is the easiest thing in the world. Everyone does this when he goes to a metaphysical meeting. The beautiful atmosphere and the positive instruction make people feel optimistic. Listen, sounds like a church service, right? Law of assumption and law of attraction, absolutely. The teacher reminds the audience of the truth of being, and they think, I believe that, and I'm going to practice it. But 5 minutes after they have left the meeting, they forget about it, and perhaps for hours. The trouble with most students is not that they do not change their thought, but they do not keep it changed. Hey, Janelle, listen, this is no offense to anybody out there, okay? I'm gonna clear this up. This is reminding me of people that go to church. People that go to church. I used to be one of those people. Right? We shout, we buck, we shout. Oh my goodness, church was good. I believe. And then Monday morning, we have self-doubt. Because we have not been taught to hold on and apply the principle of what we are learning, right? And hold on to changing the thought and evolving. We've been conditioned to get this high, pay this offering, and come back next Sunday for another boost. Oh my goodness. Okay. I want to help me. I'm not trying to help you. I'm trying to help me. And so in this new awareness, it has become, how do I continually evolve so that I don't become the very thing that I began to despise? Oh, you never gave out tithes. And there's so many teachings behind that. We may have to explore tithes in itself. So many teachings behind that. So when it comes to this work that we're doing spiritually, this is about being open to continuously evolving. We are doing well, Beth. We're doing well. Right? Because this is about the mental equivalent. Where am I and where do I want to be? And how do I get to where I want to be? Which is finding the mental equivalent. If I think I'm rich, how do I begin to feel like I'm rich and keep my energy there? Okay? Versus getting this good word, I can be rich, and then Monday morning I'm as broke as a you know what I mean? I'm gonna offer in this spiritual space, don't become another form of church where we get this high that was good, but we don't apply and continuously apply the information that we are getting when we come into the room. Okay? Otherwise, we just become another form of religion. Right? Then we just start repeating the same pattern. What are you doing now to change in your mental capacity to hold what you want? All right? Are we cool, fam? How y'all doing? Y'all feeling all right? I feel like I'm stepping on toes, so forgive me. Excuse me. I'm trying to get over. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to, trying to get to my seat. Excuse me. I didn't mean to step on nobody's toes. All right. The trouble with most students stepping on ankles, that part. Listen, the trouble with most students is not that they do not change their thought, but they do not keep it changed. Woo. If you want health, you must cease to think sickness. Okay, it's cool. If you want health, you must cease to think sickness and fear, and you must get the habit of thinking health and harmony. There can be no sickness without fear. You cannot be adversely affected by anything if you really have no fear concerning it. Everyone has many fears in the subconscious mind that he is not consciously aware of, but they are operating just the same. I don't know if you guys know this, but when you go to sleep, your conscious turns off, but your subconscious does not. And there's a space in your brain that is always operating. Always operating. And the key to life, is really learning how to tap into your subconscious, and some metaphysical teaching would even say that the Garden of Eden was about really looking at your subconscious and how this smaller piece of your brain is actually operating the bigger piece of the brain. So learning how to submit to this 10%, which some would also say is the tithe. Come on, that will be a whole different type of teaching. You hear me? To take the tithe in a mental capacity. Am I getting into stillness, which could be a form of tithe, so that 10% of that time that I invested in meditation is allowing me to navigate this whole. Whew. So that's a different way to look at it. All right? Because the tithe is just not about money, but am I putting the energy? We're reading from the mental equivalent. Am I putting the energy into stillness and being still so that I get the guidance and the instruction to be able to navigate the whole? Okay? Let's run this back. All right, again, we're reading the mental equivalent. Amen. Fox, hey, if you're new here, my name is Titus Glenn. I'm a singer, songwriter, sound healer, and spiritual life coach. And this is our metaphysical hour where we are having these discussions Monday through Friday at 7:30. All right. If you want health, you must cease to think sickness and fear, and you must get the habit of thinking health and harmony. There can be no sickness without fear. You cannot be adversely affected by anything if you really have no fear concerning it. Everyone has many fears in the subconscious mind that he is not consciously aware of, but they are operating just the same. A man said, I entered a town in a foreign country in the east of Europe during a typhoid epidemic. I did not know there was any typhoid. Thank you for the follow, everybody. I never thought about it. I didn't know the language and couldn't read the papers. They were printed in Greek. Yet I got a typhoid and had quite a siege. How do you account for that? Thank you for the share too, family. The explanation is that he believed in typhoid fever. He believed one can catch it from others, and that makes one very ill for so many days, and therefore he had a subconscious fear of it. He subconsciously knew that there was a typhoid around, and as it always does, the subconscious enacted or dramatized his real beliefs and fears and presented him with a good-hearted case of typhoid. If he had really believed that he was a child of God who could not be hurt by anything, he would not have typhoid. And this is where I interject, because I was talking to, let's say I'm talking to myself, okay? Because I work with some clients. I don't want to tell all their business. I wouldn't, So I want to make sure I get permission. Absolutely. Like the girl believed so much she made her body think she was pregnant with no baby. Absolutely. And I had a family member who actually did the same thing. Like swole. She was swole, like round and everything, because she wanted a baby so much that her body began to make it look like she was pregnant. And when she went to the doctor, there was nothing there. Listen, it's a thing. And this is why, when we get into really understanding our real power, then, in my personal opinion, we can cancel out all disease. Come on, what you give your attention to lives. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I was coaching a client, and we were having this conversation. I asked her, I said, do you believe that the mind can do anything? Because she was expressing, well, I'm tired. I have ADHD, and all these things, and I said, well, if you believe all these things and you believe that the mind is powerful and you believe that these things, so how is it that you have these things? And you have these things, these elements in your body because you believe that you have them. So if you believe innately that you are ill, you manifest an illness. This is this has to be true because there are so many people that have survived cancer with no medicine, with no medicine, with no type of chemo. And then there's people that have went through chemo and are no longer here. So this cannot not be true because there's evidence that supports there's evidence that supports that when you change your thinking, when you change how you're viewing life, when you change, listen, Beth, come on. This is testimony service. This is testimony service. It's the fear that you pull yourself into, so you create the reality of the disease. You create the reality of the dysfunction. You create the reality of the disharmony in your relationship. You legit begin to live your fears based up on what you're thinking about. OMG. Now, this is testimony service. So now we get into a posture of, if this my world is being created and I see lack, what is in me that is not believing wholeheartedly about the things I can have? Oh my goodness, I'm finna go into. Listen, I got my filter right here, so my mic is in the way. You love the shirt? Come on, we get ready to take pre-orders. We're working on setting up the link so we can start taking pre-orders. But oh, it's all about your mindset, family. If we could really wrap our mind around what is going on in here, and if we really begin to really dive into what is going on in this temple. Come on, did y'all catch that? In this temple, what is foggy in this temple that I can't think or see or be clear about? Whew, about what it is that I'm manifesting. Oh, got you. It's all good. Tell Seth I said what's up. It's all good. Change your thoughts and keep it changed. Not for 10 seconds or even 10 days, but steadily and permanently. Mind over matter, absolutely. Come on, the perspective becomes wide. Absolutely. Absolutely. The secret of harmony and success is to concentrate on your thought upon harmony and success. Absolutely. Beliefs are everything. Listen, this is why Inside Out 2 was a legit whole sermon by itself. And it was really a therapy session. And this is why we have to continue to debunk the power of life coaching counseling, because when you connect with a life coach or a therapist, it gives you opportunity to uncover what's going on subconsciously. It's just a shameless plug. If you're looking for a life coach, information is in my bio. Counselor, we're working on that. Hit me up at the end of 2025. But anywho, This is why it's important to sit down and talk with somebody so you can uncover subconsciously what you can't see. And this is not about people knowing your business. This is about you knowing your business and you actually starting to see your pattern. Because without conversation, without this healing modality, you'll never be able to see the pattern so that you can uh, correct the pattern. Get it out, Titus. Come on. That's what's up. Reiki too, right? So were you saying your money could go elsewhere? Well, your money is going into creating the same pattern. Good morning, Grand Rising. Why not put your resources and efforts into something that's going to help you change your pattern and change your behavior? And if not me, then find somebody. I mean, I put the shameless plug out there, but I'm just saying to really debunk the idea that your life is great, you're going to figure it out. Yes, you will, but you don't have to figure it out in the way that you're going about it. Okay? All right, I'm going to get out of that. Okay? Practice makes progress. Listen, spirit to spirit, we inspire. Absolutely. 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 And I would say, in this space, as we're healing, every healer that is doing the work, right? When you walk into that room, whether it's Reiki, whether it's sound healing, we have a level of awareness. And because of that awareness, we see ourselves. So in return, we see you. I don't know if y'all caught that. Okay? And our spirit identifies with the spirit that we are encountering. So we know how there's a skill set that we've been gifted with to support. And this is not saying we're doing the healing, but we are gifted to create spaces for healing to be available. Okay? The secret of harmony and success is to concentrate your thought upon harmony and success. That is why I teach that attention is the key to life. Absolutely. Everyone in their own way are healing. Absolutely. Absolutely. What you attend to or concentrate upon, you bring into your life because you are building a mental equivalent. My God. Many people fail to concentrate successfully because they think that concentration means willpower. Woo. What's up, Big Josh? They actually tried to concentrate with their muscles. They actually tried to concentrate with their muscles and blood vessels. They frown, they clench their hands. Unwittingly, they are thinking of engineer's drill or a carpenter's bit and brace. They suppose that the harder you press, the faster you get through. Sheesh. But all this is quite wrong. Forget the drill and think of photographic camera. In a camera, there is, of course, no question of pressure. There, the secret lies in focus. This is good. If you want to photograph something, you focus your camera lens quietly, steadily, and persistently on it for the necessary length of time. Suppose I want to photograph a vase of flowers. What do? Well, I do not press it violently against the lens of the camera. That would be silly. I place the vase in front of the camera and keep it there. But suppose that after a few moments I snatch away the vase and hold a book in front of the camera and then snatch that away and hold up a chair and then put the flowers back for a few moments and so forth. You know what will happen to my photograph? It will be a crazy blur. It is not that what people do to their minds when they cannot keep their thoughts concentrated for any length of time. They think health for a few minutes, and then they think sickness or fear. Ooh, They think prosperity, and then they think depression. They think about bodily perfection, and then they think about old age and their pains and aches. Is it any wonder that man is so apt to demonstrate the marred image? Woo! Listen, note carefully that I did not advocate taking one thought and trying to hold it by willpower. That is bad. You must allow a train of relevant thoughts to have free play in your mind, one leading naturally to the next, but they must all be positive, constructive, and harmonious, and pertaining to your desire. And you must think quietly and without effort. Then you will get the mental equivalent of all around success. And then success itself will follow. Success in health, in social relationships, in your work, in your spiritual development. And this is what I found to be true. Like legit. Getting into a place to where you ease your mind by even saying all is well. All is well. And then allowing your mind to become still in that energy and begin to think positive thoughts. I have everything I need. I'm rich, I'm wise, and I live in abundance. Come on. I'm rich, I'm wise, and I live in abundance. And then allow your mind to just float into that place of what does rich man look like? What does abundance look like? What does going with ease and flow look like? Here we go. Let's keep it going, family. Y'all good? This is good stuff to me. Here we go. Maintaining the new equivalent. It is always good to make a practical experiment. So I advise you to take a single problem in your life, something you want to get rid of or something you want to obtain, and change your thought about this thing and keep it changed. Thank you, Beth, for the share. Do not be in a hurry to select your problem. Take your time. Here's the big one. This is what I'm learning. Okay, are we ready for this, fam? Put a seatbelt. Is there a seatbelt emoji in the chat? Buckle up, fam, because this one is good. Woo! Here we go. Do not tell anyone you are doing this. If you tell a friend about it, you are thereby strongly affirming the existence of the problem. Thank you. Thank you, Jai. Which is the very thing you are trying to get rid of. My goodness. This is the key, because I've learned, like, I be getting excited. Oh, this just happened. Da, 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 da. And I'm learning, shut up, Titus. And it's not because your friend won't be supportive, but it almost breeds the idea of don't give energy to the thing that you're trying to get rid of. Do not tell anyone you are doing this. If you tell a friend about it, you are thereby strongly affirming the existence of the problem, which is the very thing you're trying to get rid of. If you tell your friend that you're going to work on your rheumatism or on lack, you are making these things very real to your subconscious mind. Woo! Let's run that back. If you tell your friend that you're going to work on your rheumatism or on lack, you are making these things real, very real to your subconscious mind. Also, your spiritual energy is leaking away as electricity does in what we call a ground. Take your problem and change your mind concerning it. Oh my goodness. This is oh my goodness. I want to find this scripture, because this is taking me to Mark, I believe. Uh, I'm trying to see because this is taking me to this to this to this scripture. Oh, this is it might be in Isaiah too. Ooh, wait. Isaiah 26 and 20. Oh, that's the hold on. I'm sorry. I'm I want to say it's Matthew or Mark. Matthew or Mark. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here it is. Matthew 6. Matthew 6 and 6 says this. But when you pray, go into your room and close the door and pray to your Father who is unseen. Your Father can see what is done in secret and he will reward you. Telling somebody has more people focusing. Absolutely. Come on, blacks. Ask me how I know. But this is taking me to Matthew 6 and 6. But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Your Father can see what is done in secret, and he will reward you. I'm going to see if I can get the whole Matthew because I feel like this goes into the Lord's Prayer. Is Matthew where the Lord's Prayer is? Matthew 6. Because that in itself is telling you to hush your face. Hush your face. Because closing the door is closing your this is the door. To keep it simple. Your mind is the door. Listen, when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you pray, go into your room. Come on, your room. This is your noggin is your room. This is the temple. This is the door. But when you pray, go into your room and close the door and pray to the Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. And when you pray, do not keep on babbling like pagans. Come on. Come on. Come on. I'm finna have a whole Baptist fit. And when you pray, do not keep on babbling like pagans, for they think they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask. Then this is how you should pray: Our Father who is in heaven. What is in heaven? This is heaven. Your inner being is in heaven, the God within. Your kingdom come, go within, your will be done. Come on, according to how you purpose on my life on earth, this 3D reality as it is, and where is heaven? Where is heaven? Come on, give us today our daily bread. Emmett Fox talked about daily bread. I'm gonna have to look at that because these words that we've been given have different meanings. I'm interested to go find my book because Emmett Fox says something about daily bread. I wonder if I can find it real quick. That was so yummy. I'm sorry, fam. I know I'm getting off from the book, but this is stuff to really consider. Like, woo, give us our daily bread. I'm trying to see if it's. Let me see. But I'm gonna have to find it and bring it back into our discussion because this is not just This is not just daily bread like we getting ready to go to like we get ready to go to Waffle House. But these words have different meanings that they've been carrying over thousands of years. I'm sorry. I play too much. But our daily bread is something else. It's not what we've been told it is. Let me see. But in long story short, it took me back into this place when we are praying. We don't have to tell everybody. We shouldn't be talking about it when we're trying to change a problem. Because the more we talk about the problem, the more we give energy and allow our subconscious to believe that that's the problem. I'm going to let me see. Wait, hold on. I think I'm finding it. Hold on. Give us this day our daily bread. Okay, let me read this. Okay, maybe this will support us. Okay, because we are children of a loving Father, we are entitled to expect that God will provide us fully with everything that we need. Come on. Children naturally, and spontaneously look to their human parents to supply all their wants. And in the same way, we should look to God to supply ours. If we do so in faith and understanding, we shall never look in vain. It is the will of God that we should all lead healthy, happy lives full of joyous experience, that we should develop freely and steadily, day by day and week by week, as our pathways unfold more and more unto the perfect day. To this end, we require such things as food, clothing, shelter, means of travel, books, and so on. Above all, we require freedom. Come on, don't shout me because I was in a prayer call this morning. Okay, I was in a prayer call this morning, and it was just this reminder that God wants us to be free. God wants us to be free. Universe, Source Creator wants to be free. And if what you are attached to is not freeing you, you are out of alignment. Okay, let me keep it going. We require freedom. And in the prayer, all these things are included under the heating of bread. Bread, that is to say, means not merely food in general, but all things that man require for a healthy, happy, free, and harmonious life. Sheesh. But in order to obtain these things, we have to claim them, not necessarily in detail, but we have to claim them and we have to recognize God and God alone as the source and fountainhead of all our good. Ooh. Lack of any kind is always traceable to the fact that we have been seeking our supply from secondary source. Woo! I finna run a lap in this apartment. Lack of any kind is always traceable to the fact that we have been seeking our supply from secondary source instead of from God, him or herself, the author and the giver of life. People think of their supply as coming from certain investments or from a business or from an employer, perhaps, whereas these are merely the channels through which it comes. God being the source, the number of possible channels is infinite. Woo! I finna listen, the number of possible channels is infinite. The source is one. The particular channel through which you are getting your supply is quite likely to change, because change is the cosmic cosmic law for manifestation. I'm sorry, I'm finna have a whole Baptist fit, because change is the cosmic law for manifestation. Stagnation is really death. But as long as you realize that the source of your supply is one unchangeable spirit, woo, Gloria, we're currently not doing readings currently, but I will say this while we in this vein, since you locked in. Who is your supply? Yes, you missed the sound bath. Yes. Who is your supply of love? Go with that supply and ask that supply, is it time to shift? And go within. What do you want, Gloria? Come on, that's a word all by itself. Whew. Oh my goodness. Can we continue this read, family? Our sound bath happens too at 5:30. Can we continue this? Because this is, oh my goodness. Let's run this back. The particular channel through which you are getting your supply is quite likely to change, because change is the cosmic law for manifestation. Stagnation is really death. But as long as you realize that the source of your supply is the one unchangeable spirit, all is well. Yeah, you got to get it. And this is, when I say the way that God is showing me, Source Creator, this is all true. Because every time I have quote unquote needed something and felt like it was coming one way, it came another way. Whew. Because the source doesn't change, but the vehicle does. Oh my goodness. Don't shout me in this place. The source doesn't change, but the vehicle in which the source uses can. Oh my goodness. Stagnation is really death. But as long as you realize that the source of your supply is the one unchangeable spirit, all is well. The fading out of one channel will be but the signal for the opening of another. Ooh, God, today, the fading out of one channel will be but the signal for the opening of another. If on the other hand, like most people, you regard the particular channel as being the source, sheesh, then when the channel fails, as it is very likely to do, you are left stranded because you believe that the source has dried up. And for practical purposes, on the physical plane, things are as we believe them to be. Oh my goodness. A man, for instance, thinks of his employment as the source of his income, and for some reason he loses it. His employer goes out of business or cuts down the staff, or they have a falling out. Now, because he believes that his position is the source of his income, the loss of the position naturally means the loss of income. This is a lesson in truth.info. What I'll do, family, after the live, I will put this link in I put this link in my profile on where to get it. Okay. But this is the author though is Emmett Fox. How we transitioned this, we were reading the mental equivalent. And the mental equivalent was talking about how when we are trying to change a problem, thank you, Beth, for the thank you. When we're trying to change a problem, we have to change the mental equivalent. So we have to change how we're thinking. And in that, we don't take that to other people. Because when we take it to other people, we give energy to it. Okay? And then that took me into the place of Matthew 6:6, which we're talking about the Lord's Prayer. So where do you tell yourself that your needs are met by source, God creator. It is not about satisfying your human mind, because your human mind will think logically, and your human mind will try to figure it out. The power comes when you say, I surrender, in the knowing that all my needs are met and I'm always taken care of. Ooh, don't shout me. I'm always taken care of. And my truth is that the God that of my understanding, whether that's Jesus, Buddha, whatever that is always looking out for me. So you tell your soul, your spirit, all my needs are met. I have what I need at any given moment. And that's where you take it into stillness and trust and meditation, affirmation. Because you got to take your humanness out of it. Because your humanness is going by the five senses. And you have to alleviate those five senses and go into the space where you use your other senses, the trusting and the knowing and your intuition that this is opening up. All is well. All is well. I don't know where it's coming from, but it's coming. Listen, that's an affirmation all by itself. I don't know where it's coming from, but it's coming. Here we go, fam. Let me try to wrap this up. And we may have to pick this up. Here we go. Let me see if we can read this. If such a man had realized through regular daily treatment that God was his supply and his job only the particular channel through which it came, then upon the closing of that channel, he would have found another, and probably a better one, opening immediately. If his belief had been in God as his supply, then since God cannot change or fail or fade out, his supply would have come from somewhere and would have formed its own channel in whatever was the easiest way. Woo! I'm sitting here thinking, because I have seen God, Source Creator, show up for me in ways I'm like, I don't even know how this was. Can I give an example, family? I know we've been in this, but can I give an example of how this is so true? Put some fire in the chat if it's okay to share this example. Okay, so those that don't know, I got the mic. I got you. I got you. I'll take the mic. Okay. So those that don't know, I have 4 kids, and I have my kids every other weekend. And one particular time, I told them that I was going to take them to Six Flags, and I was, those that don't know, I do Uber on the side. You know, kids got to eat, stuff like that. And I was like, you know what, God, I gotta drive. I gotta do this. And I told my kids, I'm gonna take you to Six Flags. And it came time, and I was like, I didn't meet my goal today, this monetary goal, but God, you got it. And I took them to Six Flags. So we just having fun. Out of nowhere, somebody inboxed me and said, "Hey, I was thinking about doing a studio date with my boyfriend." They was like, "Is this something that you can do?" Now, keep in mind, I do my own music, but never had I did this particular event. And she was like, "How much would you charge for something like this?" I said, I could do this. And I gave her the amount. And she was like, "Bet, I'll go ahead and make a deposit." It's like, I'm in my head like, I can't make this up. I would have never thought that this could be a service that somebody would use to create a date so that your boyfriend could create music. It's not my doing, but it is a way that God Source Creator used to supplement and give me the resources that I need. Right? That's why when you start getting into this living your purpose, You have to develop, absolutely, the woman. You have to develop this knowing that as I'm pursuing what I'm being called to do, as I'm taking care of the things I'm taking care of, God's source creator can use any vehicle, to get you to where you need to be. But the human mind is limited. Your human mind is limited by the five senses. This is where meditation comes in, because when you meditate, it gives your body, not body, I don't want to use that word, it gives your spirit and your soul to be strengthened in its sixth sense and other senses that we don't even have a clue that we're opening up. Listen, let me read this last paragraph, and we have to put this in somewhere so you can grab it. In precisely the same way, the proprietor of a business may find itself obliged to close down for some cause outside of his control, or one whose income is dependent upon stocks or bond may suddenly find that the source dried up, owing to unexpected happenings on the stock market or to some catastrophe to a factory or mine. If he regards the business or the investment as his source of supply, he will believe his source to have collapsed. Oh my goodness. And will in consequence be left stranded. Whereas if his reliance is upon God, he will comparatively indifferent to the channel, and so that channel will be easily supplanted by a new one. In short, we have to train ourselves to look to God, because for all that we need, to look to God cause for all that we need, and then the channel, which is entirely a secondary matter, will take care of itself. Ooh, let me while I have y'all live, let me link this in my profile, if that's okay, because I don't want to forget. And you can go, and read it. But what this is breaking down is breaking down the Lord's Prayer, because Emmett was a metaphysical thinker. He was a conscious thought leader. And so this is looking at the Bible not as physical or literal, but using the Bible as an analogy of sorts, which a lot of people was not trained to do. And affords you the opportunity to really get some deeper understanding of how to apply the Bible in a spiritual and practical way. You hear me? I I'm just cleaning. I'm putting it in my link tree so you guys can go read this article. Wasn't that juicy stuff? Because your job is only the vehicle, but it's not the source. Ooh. Your job is not the, it's only the vehicle. It is not the source. Let me see. I'm gonna title it Metaphysical Bible Study Lesson. Emmett Fox. All right, fam, it's there. It's there. The daily bread is also a metaphor. I'm trying to figure out, it's every the Bible in itself is It's a book of metaphors. The Bible in itself is a book of metaphors. It's a allegory type of book. And the different sayings that we were taught. If you're not even interpreting in Jewish culture, most pastors are already off. Because the analogies that are written in the Bible were written for a certain sect of people. And our lingo is not their lingo. Was not their lingo hundreds of years ago. In the same way, in this last 42 years of living, our lingo has changed so much. Just imagine the lingo that the Bible uses and how it has changed. And so this is why you have to go back and get to as close to the original version as possible. Because the way that we've taught it now, we hating people of same gender 11 because by one decade of wrong teaching has led us to not loving people based upon who they decide to lay with, which is error, 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 error. And there's documentaries that started to uncover that. Was it 1947? You too. But let me not harp on that, okay? But the Bible in itself is a beautiful book when you use it appropriately. Okay? So the link is there, family. So good. We may have to we're gonna continue next week. So that means that our moon talk will be pushed back. Hopefully you guys are okay with that. But we're going to get into finishing this next week. Remember, tomorrow I'm traveling, Monday I'm traveling, so we won't be back until Tuesday. Okay? So I love y'all. I'm finna start packing, doing all those things. I will be coming back to do some readings, probably another hour, 2 hours or so. So I will see you guys in just a few. And if not, here we go. Just in case you haven't heard it in a while. Come on. And just in case you really need to know. Hey. Just in case you haven't heard it in a while. Just in case you really need to know. Oh, I love you back. Hey, I love you. I love you. I love you back. Hey, I love you. I love you. I love you back. Hey, I love you. I love you. I love you back. Oh, John, thank you so much for the 10K likes before we get up out of here. Come on. I love y'all. All right. See y'all soon. Have a great day. Listen. Whoa.